Well, opposition lawmakers may vote to censure Japan's Prime Minister on Wednesday. They say Yoshihiko Noda lacks leadership. Noda was talking tough on Friday, saying South Korea is illegally occupying a group of disputed islands. Analysts say Noda did not mention an island dispute with China because he wants to improve relations with Japan's biggest trading partner. But as Mike Firn reports, opposition parties are less conciliatory.
Time may be running out for the Democratic Party of Japan. 3 years ago this week, it ended 50 years of LDP rule with a landslide victory. Now, voter disapproval with the cabinet is near a record high. Protesters are angry over the government's nuclear policy and plans to raise sales tax. So are the lawmakers who quit the DPJ to form a new party, People's Life First. Forming a new political party in Japan is rather like launching a new brand of soft drink. You have to come up with a catchy new name and a nice image, but beneath all the fizz and the saccharine sweetness, often you'll find that the recipe is exactly the same as all the other ones. And one of the main ingredients is nationalism. Right-wing Gambari Nippon lawmakers aren't the only ones saying Japan needs to take a tougher line in territorial disputes.
Japanese diplomacy is in a state of collapse. The political system is in disarray. The economy is beginning to lose steam, and nations around it, China, Russia, South Korea, have taken this into account and decided to move.
Other opposition lawmakers agree. Shinzo Abe says that Japan's foreign policy is weak. He may run for LDP leadership next month and make a bid to become Prime Minister for a second time. Osaka Mayor Toru Hashimoto says Japan needs a dictatorship. His party will run in the next national election. Hashimoto angered Korea last week, saying there was no evidence that Japan used sex slaves during the last war. But one political analyst says whoever forms the next government will probably try to improve relations with Japan's neighbours.
A lot of this is sort of the typical, rhetoric of politicians on the hustings, but when they actually take power, the situation will change. The key is Japan is, a declining power, has declining influence, and its relations with the United States have deteriorated over the past couple of years.
Whoever leads the next government may not have time to make an impact on foreign relations anyway. There have been 6 prime ministers in as many years, 9 foreign ministers. If Japan is to build or burn its bridges with the rest of Asia, the moves are more likely to be made by its bureaucrats and its business leaders.
And Mike Firn is standing by live in Tokyo with more. Mike, spin doctor James Carville came up with the phrase, the economy stupid, for Bill Clinton's very successful U.S. presidential campaign 20 years ago. So how big a role will the economy play in Japan's national election?
Well, huge. Ichiro Ozawa left the DPJ saying that they'd promised not to raise spending tax while the economy was weak. He said it still is weak because of the quake and tsunami. In fact, the Cabinet Office monthly report out today said that consumer spending isn't growing, export growth is weak, industrial output is down. It cut its view on the economy for the first time in 10 months. Friday, we get more figures. Jobless rate probably holding steady, 4.3%. Likely to see a slowdown in consumer spending, a drop in retail sales, but a bounce back in industrial output, probably matching the drop we had the previous month. So a mixed bag of data, but the government saying that we are seeing signs of weakness in the economy. So this is likely to play into an election if one is called in the next couple of months, Michelle.
All right, thank you so much, Mike Firn, live for us in Tokyo.